Hey guys, Mark Rodriguez here.
And this is Joopy Chan, also known as Ninja Joopy, or just call me Wendy. Hi guys.
Yep, and you're watching the review Sanctum, where everything and anything will be reviewed. As you can tell by the headbands here, we just watched the Karate Kid's Legends. It was a pretty good movie. But one thing I want to talk about real quick is, well, first of all, there's going to be heavy spoilers. I know the movie just came out a couple of days ago as of filming, so if you guys haven't seen it yet or whatever, be warned. We're going to try to avoid it, but sometimes it's themed, so, you know, spoilers. Be warned. You haven't seen the movie yet, spoilers. But, yeah, something interesting happened at the movie, like actually the movie theater we were in, watching the movie in the beginning here.
Yeah, so while we were watching it, maybe like the first 15-20 minutes after our main character is living in New York, he's about to start his first day of school, all of a sudden we hear audio and then the screen just goes blank. It gets, you know, it's already dark because of the theater.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
Yeah.
We lose the picture. It's all dark. And we're kind of like, okay, let's give it a second, because, I mean, in very, very rare moments I've been in theaters, sometimes it goes out, but it just comes right back on.
And for me, I've never actually had that type of situation, like, ever, except for back in, like, 91, when we saw Beauty and the Beast in theaters, and the film started upside down. And it had to, like, refix itself, but you know, I was like a 9-10-year-old me, so whatever. So,
but yeah, so it was out, and it was out, and it was out. We were expecting like, okay, it's gonna come back, but it's like a good 10 minutes passed, and still nothing. And we're all, you know, us and the people in the theater were all kind of looking at each other and all that.
I thought of another incident where that happened to me when I played hooky for my college classes to go see Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so and that's what you get for playing.
Yes, I know, and they gave us a voucher to come back.
Yes. But anyways, we're waiting a good while, and then one of the movie theater people come in to say that yes, we are trying to fix it. There's some storms in the area. And you know how it is when you're inside the theater, you kind of lose track of what's going on outside in the real world, or whatever. So it was storming badly outside. The theaters burned out. I think it was for all of the movie theaters. Not just
all of the theaters.
Kids.
They said all of them. They're trying to get all of them back on so that we can all see our films. So.
Yeah, and you know they'll replay the last couple of moments before the thing went out, so we don't miss any minutes and everything. So it was a good 20 minutes before the thing finally came back on. And all that. We just thought it was kind of weird and everything. And so anyways, the plot of the movie is kind of interesting. Right off the bat, like the most confusing thing is cool, but also confusing because it's kind of how did they do this? They explained with Mr. Miyagi, actually Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san, but back when he was a kid, you know, back during the Karate Kid.
It's supposed to be 1985. It's supposed to be 1985.
Yeah.
No, 86.
Yeah, and I'm thinking this is in part two. Part two is in Japan with them and stuff. So Miyagi was showing him this picture, you know, these scrolls, and he explains the story of how
karate got brought to Japan, and a lot of people know the story anyway, because you know that a story of it that it did originate in Okinawa. So that kind of stayed. But he also got more into it. Like the person that brought it back, he ended up with sailing. He ended up, you know, in China. So he learned a lot of the techniques there. He brought it back to Okinawa. So they're pretty much showing how China and Japan has that connection with the arts. Yeah. So it's sort of like, I guess you'd say like China it's like the foundation maybe from China, but Japan just, you know, added more to it. Yeah, and you got the different styles of the different fighting styles, and that's also how we can have Han in the Karate Kid situation. Even though he teaches kung fu, because they're pretty much saying that they're connected. Yeah, one tree, two branches. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. So they actually like linked that other movie that was supposed to be a remake and a whole separate whatever with Mr. Han, Jackie Chan, with Jaden Smith and everything. So now they're explaining how he was actually friends with Mr. Miyagi, and it's like they say that the two branches, one tree, with the kung fu from Mr. Han and the Miyagi style karate from Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, so that's kind of clever. Japan, and so apparently that whole scene was filmed with like a combination of like I guess lost archival footage and body doubles with CGI and deepfake and all that kind of technology all mixed up together, so that we can bring back Mr. Miyagi and the younger, you know, kid version of Ralph Macchio and everything. Yeah. So So anyways, the movie starts proper, and we see that in Hong Kong. We've got Mr. Han training his class, and one of the kids is named Li Fong, and even though he's training Kung Fu with them, his mother does not want him to train with him and everything. Yeah, because of something that happened earlier, because of dealing with her oldest son, who was killed because of all the martial arts.
Yeah. And the mother was played by the same actress, Minya Wen, I think I forgot her exact name. But she also played Chun-Li in the Street Fighter movie, and she also played I forgot her name, but she was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. She was one of the agents. Oh, Miranda May, I think was her name there. So she had, and of course, countless other roles, but those are the ones I remember her the most in.
I just recognized her. I just couldn't place her.
I kept thinking that maybe it was her, because obviously, get a little older, changed a little bit. But then when I saw the credits, oh, it was her, But anyways, she doesn't want the kid to have any, be involved in violence and stuff. And she got approved for a job in New York, because she's like a doctor, so she got approved to work in New York. So now she's taking the kid along. And I guess she invited Mr. Han to come in, whenever he wants to and stuff like that. It's kind of like up in the air. Well, he had the hats, remember? Hat for the kid, hat for him.
That's right.
But, he chose to come whenever the time was right,
Yeah,
so,
I kind of forgot about that part too.
Yeah, so he goes to New York, has to adapt to it and everything. And he goes to a pizzeria, and this is where he kind of do the thing. I get it, but I wish for other people just explain it or something. He goes to a pizzeria, it's like those typical moms and pops pizzerias that we all know in all these towns and stuff.
Especially in New York, you go around the corner, if you're in New York City, you go around the corner, you got your local pizzeria open almost all night.
Yeah, and then Chicago and even Vegas has lots of moms and pops stuff shops. You used to live like right there. But anyways, I'm assuming that based on watching all like American TV commercials and stuff like that, he's asking if they got stuffed crust, and they're like, dude, do we look like we serve stuffed crust here?
And he was kind of smart about it, acting like really, smart alecky about it. They say, you know what you can do? Now you get on the thing, take the tunnel, go to Jersey, and go one of those crappy, chain pizzerias, so that like your Papa John's, your Domino's, your Pizza Huts,
Yeah.
And then his daughter came in there and said, so be rude, and she started talking to him and, explained,
They kind of liked her a little bit there, good first impression there. And around the time after that is when he got home and had to get ready for school. That's when the movie got cut. So whenever they put it back in, they kind of replayed a bit of the pizza part again. And then, the movie keeps going on. So he runs into the girl outside when she's not doing her job. She was going to the shopping in a bodega or something. And as they're walking down the city, they walk past a karate dojo, and of course he's kind of interested because he misses the martial arts. He can't do it anymore because the martial arts don't do it anymore.
And also too, while he was in back in China when he was doing the martial arts, he usually was sneaking and doing it with his uncle. Because Jackie Chan is his great uncle. Mr. Han is his great uncle. So like I said, he was pretending to do the. He's hiding from his mother there to practice, but then
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So we got two things there. In the dojo, first of all, the girl's trying to rush him away. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Trust me, whatever. We find out that the guy who runs the dojo, who looks a lot like Vince Russo, he's running some kind of crime thing, and Mia's dad owes him money.
So he's like a loan shark.
Yeah, and he wants violent means to gain that money back. But at the same time, one of the pupils there, his name is Connor. He's the bad guy bully of the movie because all Karate Kids need one of those. And apparently, I guess he used to go out with a girl, but the girl left because he's toxic.
He's trouble and toxic. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he also doesn't like the fact that hey, what you doing here? What you hanging out with this guy for? And I'm sorry that one guy, the owner of the dojo, the loan shark, and also the guy who kind of preps up Connor. Like I said, I can't get out of my mind that he looks like Vince Russo. I keep thinking yeah, get him, bro, hit him hard, bro, sweep the leg, bro, and all that. If you gotta beat him, you gotta sweep the leg. They're gonna love it, man. They're gonna love it, bro. Trust me, bro. And all that.
WCW, late WCW.
Yep. So anyways, so we find out, stuff about that, and there's a part where they're kind of like, oh yeah, the girl's motorbike thing broke down, so they had to take it back, riding the train back. But of course, that dude just happens to be in the train, and the dude's like, hey, what's this guy now? And he actually lands a surprise punch on him and stuff like that.
And of course, his mother isn't happy about it. But prior to that, he does go back with the girl to her father's place, and you find out that her father used to be a boxer.
Boxer back in the day.
Yeah, and you said that he kind of put all that aside when his daughter was born. So so had to cover up the things, and it was helping him out.
So then we get something that I really like about the movie. It was kind of interesting. So there's a new boxing tournament coming up. A lot of money. That's a good way to pay back the loan shark and just avoid all that mess because now he's starting to send goons after him and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, the big guy was gonna try to protect him, but instead, you know, Lee Fong shows off all his martial arts skills.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah, he was out there, and then the guy snuck up behind. Oh, and by the way, his name is Victor. Mia's father.
Yeah.
He as one of the goons snuck up behind him and hit him, and there were like 2 or 3 with Lee, and then he was, you know, beating up those guys. Wow, and then he said, "Wow, yo, man, can you like teach me how to do all that fighting stuff?" And you know.
Yeah. And so it became kind of cool because technically speaking, he's not fighting, but he's training someone else to fight. So, so yeah, we got a good montage of him training the father how to fight, and I like it because it's just different. Because it's like instead of the older, you know, Mr. Miyagi training the younger kid how to fight, now it's like the younger kid teaching the adult how to fight, how to move faster, you know, be quicker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because apparently there's a boxing tournament every year or whatever it is, and when you get a big cash prize, and he said if you won that, then he said, you know, he'll be able to pay back on the loan from the loan shark, and you know, maybe have something left over to do whatever, you know.
Yeah. And we won't spoil, I guess, too much. But yeah, it doesn't really go too well for the father, unfortunately, during the fight. And
this also plays back to a trigger or kind of a trauma of when Lee's brother was killed, because they were in a tournament, and
like he won the tournament.
His older brother won the tournament, but the guy that he beat was kind of a sore loser about it, and they went and attacked him and his brother. And it just, as you can see, it didn't turn out that way. He froze, and the same thing happened regarding Mia's father. He froze because he was like replaying what was happening in his mind. That he was hurt so bad he couldn't do anything, and he froze, and Mia was kind of upset over it.
Yeah. So right now, it was around this general time that the Jackie Chan showed up. Mr. Han showed up at their house and said, "Hey, you invited me. I thought it was a good time."
Yeah, and also too, Mr. Han realized that he hadn't talked to him in a while because he kept trying to contact him, but you know, he's like in his own. Lee's kind of depressed. He's upset over what happened with Mia's father. He's in the hospital, and of course his mother's upset because she works at that hospital.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "I told you, no fighting."
Yeah. And yeah, so anyways, there's a big tournament that was announced throughout the movie here and there, and that's a tournament where Connor's always the winner and everything. So now to, you know, get all this stuff taken care of and, you know, do it to help out the parents and all that.
Yeah, it's a karate tournament with all 5 boroughs competing against each other. So, you know, Bronx, Manhattan, Long Island, Brooklyn, you know.
Yeah. So anyways, Han wants to train them, but he only got like about 7 days and stuff. So for extra help, he goes to, I don't know where they are now, but he goes to meet Daniel's son, now he's an adult,
Daniel, yeah,
who's running the Mr. Miyagi dojo and everything. And you know, he says, yeah, you can just go to any dojo to learn karate. He's like, yeah, but I don't want him to learn just karate. I want him to learn Miyagi karate.
Miyagi style, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it was kind of funny because it's like, I'm not going there. It goes, oh yep, yeah you are. No, dude, I'm seriously, I'm not. Yeah, yep, see you there, and all that kind of stuff.
And then later on, he shows up.
And it's like, what a surprise! Oh, shut up, you know I was coming. And
yeah.
So it was kind of funny now because now we get all these things where they found this rooftop. There's like this Tudor kind of nerdy friend.
Oh yeah, a friend that Lee ended up, a guy that Lee became friends with because of his mother, because he wants her to you know, take the not the SAT, but he wants to take college entrance exams.
Yeah.
So you know, the stereotypical Asian mother thing.
Yeah. So he showed him this big roof where they could like practice and train and stuff. So now we had a lot of funny scenes between Daniel and Mr. Han comparing their martial arts skills and saying, do it this way, no, you do it that way, and do this.
Wait, that style should be better. No, wait, he should do it this way. Did the windmill is better. No, that way is better.
Yeah.
No, this style.
I like there was one scene in particular where they kept grabbing them and flipping them to the floor. And different ways. No, man, you gotta do it this way, and then kabam. And then no, it's the other way. So more like this.
He's like, there's ringing in my head right now.
It's like my hips are rattling. Should they be doing that? You know, and everything. So it's kind of funny. And then the big thing at the end is that earlier in the scene, he had a little fight with Connor, and he did some kind of like whirlwind spin kick thing that he got off his brother. But the dude saw it and countered it.
Like really countered it.
Yeah.
Like so easily.
Yeah. So their big plan now is if he can, like, I guess, you know, do it again but alter it, go a bit lower, since the guy would see it coming, he could like duck under Connor's attack and hit him and stuff.
Yes, do a sweep.
Yeah, and that was like their big training thing. They're training at like one of the subway stations, you know, those little things.
The turnstiles.
Oh, there you go. And it was just funny. I like the thing that there was like a random lady there. Like, how long is this going on for?
Yeah, the lady that work. I guess one of the workers there, and it's like, until he can get under the turnstile. But at least they were using their Metro card to pay, so they can go, so it doesn't seem like they're trying to like jump the turnstile and all that stuff.
The only thing is, I wish like when he did it, I wish he was still there, so you could be like, damn, or some kind of reaction out of it, and everything. So there you go. Then you have the.
So after about 5 concussions later, he finally managed to get it.
And they have the big, the tournament starts and everything. He goes with several rounds and everything.
And his nickname is Stuffed Crust.
Yep, it's still stuck and everything. And those are cool scenes where some of the, some of Russo's people try to attack and everything. So we got to see a little bit of Jackie Chan and Daniel-san doing some good old karate. A natural opponent, not just training. So it's kind of cool.
And I like when Han said to someone, "So you want some more?" And he went away.
Yeah. And so we got the big tournaments and stuff happens, and obviously the good guys win and all that, but you'll see when the movie goes. But overall, our thoughts and stuff. I love the movie for what it was. It was a lot of fun. I love the dynamics. Like I said, I love all the characters are very likable. Like Li Fong just seemed like naturally charming and kind of funny and stuff, and the girls just seemed charming in their own way. And
and also something else that Lee was doing for the girls, because they live in New York City, they run a business, so of course they have to go around to different vendors to get things, which sometimes involved them having to do business in Chinatown. So he actually was teaching Mia how to use Mandarin to try to get better deals, like which he used while they were in one of the shops.
Yeah. So that's also cool. And then, like I said, I just like the difference of the kid teaching the adult how to fight instead of the other way around.
And I'm glad that we got to see different fighting styles. So we had the boxing, we had the kung fu, we had the karate.
Yeah. So. And I also liked that, all the banter and all the stuff with I guess Daniel-san pretending Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Han, and just them talking and stuff and everything. I did hear a lot of people complaining. They were kind of disappointed that there was zero mention or reference at all to the Cobra Kai series and everything.
So, which for me is not really that big a deal because, like I said, not everybody watches these series.
I never got to see it or whatever.
And I didn't either.
Yeah.
So, as a standalone film, it's fine. It fits in okay with the rest of the actual movie continuity series. Because, like I said, this movie kind of can. At least we now know how Han fits into the Karate Kid lore, as opposed to that other movie, with him and Jaden. It was like it's kung fu. They even reference in the movie when Jaden telling his mother, "It's not karate, it's kung fu." And I'm like, so why is this movie called Karate Kid?
I know.
It was so silly. They just was banking on the name. Because, like, as mentioned, in Japan, it was not called the Karate Kid. It was called the Besto Kito, or something like that,
Now, the other thing, too, is that that's one thing that people mentioned, and I kind of agree, sort of. They should have at least a little reference or name call or something to the kid. I forgot what Jaden Smith's character was in the movie, but at least mentioned that Han had a couple of students like so and just name dropped the kid or something.
Yeah, something else I kind of wonder. And the other thing that kind of got me was like one thing he told Daniel was that his nephew to him is what Daniel was to Mr. Miyagi. He helped him get him on that right path. Yeah. When technically that's what Jaden did for Han in the other movie, because Mr. Han was drunk, he was depressed because of all the stuff that happened to his family, sort of like Mr. Miyagi, when he was depressed and all that. So it's sort of like they were acting like that never happened, and then he went back to doing the martial arts, going back to doing the schooling and teaching again with Han's character. But it kind of so I guess Jaden didn't count because he's the one that kind of jump-started you into wanting to do everything again and realizing there is more to life and, like that.
Yeah. They could have mentioned something like that. They could have said something like one of my pupils got me back in the right path, and maybe it's our chance to help this guy out too. So something
It's like, and it got I think that would have been a nice callback, but
Well, and in the defense though, that first movie was kind of a reboot, so they were kind of covering the same beats and everything. But in this one, I do like this. It's not a reboot or whatever. It's like a whole new movie, whole new everything. I guess most of the Karate Kid stuff is having Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio back into it and everything. I like that it follows its own beats, it has its own different dynamics. You know, the stuff with the family, with with Victor and Mia, the training, Victor with the boxing and stuff. The kid having those psychological triggers with what happened in the past and the present. But it's something that the other characters had in the other movies, so it's something different. They have those.
Yeah, they had their little issues, but it seemed like mostly with the other guys, it's more like, oh, I'm dealing with bullies. Oh, I'm dealing with bullies. You know, they didn't really have much trauma. It's like in Jada's case, he had to move to a whole other country and had to learn how to live with that. And Ralph, and Daniel's character, he was just a little wimpy kid who always looked younger than what he actually was, because Ralph Macchio was like in his 20s when he did the role.
So anyways, your thoughts on the movie overall?
Like I said, I actually really like this film, and I said, forget anyone who didn't like it. I don't know, it's a nice standalone film.
Yeah.
And if you just ignore some of the other stuff, like, if you ignore the last movie and just say like Jaden and Han never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels that way anyway. It does feel like that movie just doesn't, whatever. And I mean, it brings the character into the lore because I guess it's such a good character. It's a shame to miss them. But it's kind of like ignore the last movie and just go with this one. It looks like. It's
sort of like with the Halloween movie. Go with Halloween 1, Halloween 2, then Halloween H2O. It's like, hey, that's a good bookend. So they kind of screwed that up. But anyway.
Yeah. So overall, a lot of fun. It was a good experience. We we got cool free headbands for the tickets. The thing with the power going out is a fun story to tell people because that's rare. We got some good food afterwards, and hey, we even pre-ordered the Megan movie. So we got it ready to go.
Yeah. And if they could, and also with the way this movie ended, I really couldn't see them making another sequel to this one exactly, unless they try to continue the trend, like the student becomes the teacher type thing.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see that working. But I don't see what they could do to make it different. Because like I said, compared to all the other ones, this is the first one we've seen that had a traumatic situation that's affecting him wanting to do any type of a martial art. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. So anyway guys, it's Marvin J signing off here. Overall, great movie. I enjoyed it. Like I said, if you guys don't care about the no ties to Cobra Kai, which in our opinion it would have gone over our heads anyways if there were any. So
yeah, the only thing I know about the Cobra Kai series is that Daniel was having his dark moments, he was having his issues, whereas what's his face, that he was on actually a good path in life, but Daniel was going down a darker path. That's about all I know about it, and he does cameo in this film.
Yeah. So anyways guys, it's Mark signing off here.
And this is Wendy. We'll see you guys later, probably for Megan or whatever other movie comes up in between.
And yeah, so this is the review Sanctum, where everything and anything can be reviewed. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.